C.R.P.H.A. Now, I know that not all people like to talk politics. Not all people like to talk politics, even with other people, because I know that each person has a different view and thought process of and about the two political parties. But the reason we at C.R.P.H.A have talked about it, besides the non-political and other issues, is to keep people better informed, a lot better than the liberal and other media, because they're only able and allowed to give you only a certain level, and they're only sanctioned to do so, only to give you only so much information. It's like watching a sitcom, a 30 or less minute sitcom of negative information, but yet hardly anything that's positive hits the news airwaves. That's not a good thing. Okay, now this one right here is about what what I saw yesterday morning, and what I was watching yesterday morning when it came to the conservative news. Um, and of course, what I consider the conservative news, you may not, I don't, but ever since the President Donald Trump got into office, and I thank Heavenly Father for it, because he's doing better than any other president next to Reagan. Reagan did equally as good. Um, but there seemed to be more than a desperation from the liberal Democrats. The one, and I know you're probably going, okay, what would that be? Of what we consider to be less a basic desperation. Let's put it this way: when the liberal Democrats see the other party doing better for the American people in this country and our youth, they get jealous. They don't like it. Act child. The liberal Democrats would get jealous and act childish, unadult, non-professional, among other things. Let's put it this way: the liberal Democrats have been so desperate and so childish, among other things, that they've formed, or at least allowed to have something formed, in the sense of impeachment, as some sort of impeachment campaign of sorts, if you want to call it that. And they want to try to get rid of Donald J. Trump because they don't like the fact that he's doing good for this country and the American people and our youth. He doesn't. They don't want him to be in the positive spotlight. They want to be in what they consider to be the positive spotlight. But here's one of many things we have said, even on our Facebook and G Plus posts of C.R.P.H.A, is that ever since JFK, for one, JFK was their positive footing. John Franklin Kennedy was their positive footing for the Democrats. John Franklin Kennedy wanted the best for the American people and the best for this country, including our youth. John Franklin Kennedy was a father in his own right, so that put him in the positive footing on that aspect. Not the party itself, but the politician. Although at the same time, I don't think even John Franklin Kennedy really considered him a politician. Pretty much in the same footing as Donald Trump doesn't consider him to be a politician. But nonetheless, but ever since John Franklin Kennedy was assassinated, um, that all the way to the points to where it came up to Jimmy Carter, former President Jimmy Carter. He did things that wasn't the best thing for the country. It wasn't the best thing for the American people. Neither did Obama. Of course, Bill Clinton only did one positive thing, but that even that one positive thing didn't really give them back the liberal Democrats back their footing. That one positive thing that he did, that Bill Clinton did, was make it more than possible to have more than several jobs out there. Even though even though he he couldn't, his administration and he couldn't think of anything else but to close the naval and army bases. One of them being Moffett Field, even though in a way Moffett Field is still pretty much being used. Same thing with Mather Field. Although I don't think Mather Field's officially closed exactly, but nonetheless. And aside from the fact, before the Monica Lewinsky thing, is where it went downhill for Bill Clinton, and it went completely downhill for the liberal Democrats. And also, like I said, Obama did not do any better. In fact, he did extremely worse. In fact, it's even said that he himself closed the government to get the Affordable Care Act of what's known as Obamacare pushed through. And he thought he would be able to force the Republicans of the House during the Obama administration to put his Obamacare through, and yet that Obamacare has been nothing but negative for a number of people, and we've said this before. It's bankrupt many hundreds, if not millions of people, if not more than that. That healthcare plan was a joke, extremely way beyond a joke. In fact, it had no protective aspects, financially and otherwise, for the American people. And yet, Obama is seen as the positive, like some sort of fucking Hail Mary type of shit of a politician for this country, in this country's history. The only thing is, if you consider socialism, having it to where our rights and freedoms would be gradually taken away, the Constitution of this country, in which was put together for and formed by our forefathers, in which helped form this country and put the country together as it has been. If you consider that a positive light, as many liberal voters and followers might, then you are un-American. Simply put, I will not allow socialism to be in a country that is so great. This country has made it to where we are able to keep our rights and freedoms in a positive light, even for us, and to protect us. We have many rights and freedoms, but the one thing is, the liberals don't like that. They want to put what happened to them, that where they lost their footing. Apparently, they want to blame us. They want to blame the American people, and that's why they want socialism, to where they have full control and power. Where for example, if Hillary was in office, that the Fourth Amendment would be ripped out of the Constitution, and gradually even secretly, if not, if that essentially, the Constitution of this country would be torn apart and would be rewritten by the liberal Democrats in their own viewing. That would only benefit them and not this country and not the American people, even though they may try to tell you differently. The liberal Democrats want it to where they have more power, more control over what we do and our rights and what we don't do. As if we can't make our own decisions. As if we're incapable of making our own decisions and right choices and such like that, right? As if the state's law, each state's law and other things that keep us safe is not enough. But the one thing is, the liberal Democrats don't get. We American people could easily help things go in a positive light. Help the law of each of our counties, cities, within every part of our state go 100% to where everybody's safe and unharmed. And that basically can happen without the American people getting injured, harmed, or whatnot, right? But the liberal Democrats don't see that. They think that we're weak, we're brain dead. We're basically infant like. We don't know what's right or wrong, obviously, according to the liberal Democrats. The liberal Democrats do not get the fucking fact that JFK was their only positive footing. John Franklin Kennedy was their only positive footing. After they lost him, it's not the American people's fault, and I'm not going to say it's their fault either, and I'm not going to say it's the Republicans' fault either. But yet they keep on going to the points of saying, wait a minute, we want that positive light. We don't want Trump to have it, or we want that positive light. We don't want Reagan to have it. We want that positive light. We don't want Bush Jr. or Bush Sr. to have it. And yet their positive light currently has been about socialism, full power and control, and money. No. The real aspect of what's been going on, why the government was shut down at this point, and it's been shut down for several weeks now, is because it seems to be that the liberal Democrats want to favor bankrupting this country by allowing illegals to come into this country illegally, which basically puts our 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 side of it as not very important, where our financial things are at risk because of that. Because the more illegals are allowed in this country, that come in here illegally, come in the state and country illegally, things start going up, and more people are at risk of being harmed or killed. But do the liberal Democrats see that, or do they even acknowledge that? No, they don't. They don't want people to know that they know that's a general more than a general possibility. And it's in more ways than one. It could easily turn into a basic and reality aspect of a general for sure thing. Yes, the people who come over here over into our country in the state of California especially, um, don't know our rules and ways of doing things and the rights and the wrong thing to do and whatnot else. But there's one thing: if they have the energy to come into this country and to the state of California and other states within the U.S. by crossing our borders, they can use that same fucking energy and willpower and willfulness and whatnot to come into this country legally. It may take some time, but as all things do, they do take time. It's not going to take too long to the point where they're old and gray. But the longer they wait, and the more they persist on doing the illegal actions, the harder things can be for them. And if they come in here illegally, it makes it harder for us, legal citizens, and many of the other legal citizens in the state of California and within the whole entire country of the United States. The liberal Democrats are trying to get it to where the American people would petition that we don't get a wall, that Trump is putting forth and having built along the borders, in which I believe and strongly agree with Trump. It is a good thing to have a wall in the border along the borders, because one, the more the if we have let's put it this way, if we have more people coming into this country illegally, see where my palm is pointing. Things become more expensive, even in the sense of food, living expenses, and many other things. The less and to practically nil of illegals coming across the border, things start going back down, and things gradually become affordable as they should be. The liberals want you to believe, even with the illegals coming across the border, things will still be this way, or even this way, to a level moderate or minimal. When really, if the more illegals come into this country illegally, it'll be like this. Things will start going straight the fuck up financially, budget wise, and everything else, to where this country is nearly bankrupt, if not completely. So the liberal Democrats need to realize one thing. Accept the fucking fact that you lost your footing when JFK was assassinated, which was a sad thing. He's a child of God, as everyone else is on this planet, and has been. Even the ones that are no longer alive no longer with us even now, they're children of Heavenly Father as well. But the one thing is, it's not the American people's fault. It's not the Republicans' fault. things just happen under what's known as the conspiracy, black market aspects of things. If you want to put it easily worded that way. So the liberal Democrats need to realize that the American people deserve better than what than what the liberals have been putting forth, because the Obamacare didn't do anything positive for the American people. The aspect of socialism doesn't do anything positive for the American people or this country, and it's against the Constitution. The aspect of what Jerry Brown did by making the state of California a sanctuary state, that's against the Constitution. By allowing the mayor of San Francisco, in the Bay Area, allowing that city to be a sanctuary city, that's against the Constitution. See, the liberal Democrats don't get. They think that people won't catch on to what's really going on with them, and why they're doing the negative actions and negative movements and whatnot. They want the American people to think that what they're doing is good for this country and the American people, when it's not. The liberal Democrats want you to think that what they're doing for our youth is good, when it's not. Hell, even Michelle Obama didn't do anything positive for the youth. Yet she was praised for teaching children how to grow things, all this other crap. And then Michelle Obama forced the Mars Candy Company, to quit making the large king size Snicker bar. Now, when you see the large one, it's in mid length sections, one over here and one over here, instead of one full bar. Michelle Obama needs to focus on her own children on that aspect. Don't make shit worse for the American people and their youth. Let the parents deal with it the best way they can. And yet, see, that's the one thing right there, though, ladies and gentlemen, that the liberals think that we're so damn brain dead that we are not able to take care of our own, that they have to do it for us. And I know not very many people, if any, like being told of how to raise their children and how to bring up their children and what to feed their children and various other things, right? But yet nobody's bitched and moaned about the politicians of liberal idiot Democrats doing that. Not even the mothers that are Democratic voters. But when it comes to people in the general public, outside the politics aspect, they don't like it. But when it comes to the ones that are in political office, they kiss ass. Literally, they might as well go over to Obama, and the mothers of the liberal voting mothers might as well go over and suck Obama's dick and kiss his ass. And the liberal male voters might as well go over and eat Michelle Obama and kiss her ass. And that right there shows that they don't care what happens to this country as long as it doesn't happen to them. But the one thing is, liberal voters and liberal Democratic followers, anything that happens to this country, financially, economically, and within the country's budget, happens to everybody, not just the one side of the population that sides with the Republican Party, and even conservative Republican Party, or even the Green Party. The ones that do not like the actions and the policies of the liberals. It happens to everybody. The liberal Democrats will not protect your sorry asses just because you vote for them to be in office. The liberal Democrats don't give a damn about those who vote for them. Hell, they don't even give a damn about the people who don't vote for them. And I've said many times. In fact, C.R.P.H.A has said many times. Don't believe the negative baloney and the things that sound positive to you by the sound of what they're saying, even when you're at their rallies. Don't believe anything that the liberals say. The liberal Democrats will say anything just to have it to where they get in office, to where you believe what everything they say, when basically they don't mean 100% of the time, 100% of the things that they even say, even more than 100% of the things that they say. They'll say anything and everything just to where they get in office. And like I said many times, and like I said earlier, in fact, on this video, is that they do not give a damn about this country and the American people or our youth. All they care about is their own families and their own youth. That's it. Besides themselves. What is going through your head right now? If you're a liberal politician, you might be yelling at your computer screen or whatever, or TV screen if you're watching this on your TV screen, because I know there's TVs that have YouTube, internet access aspects, whatnot. But the basic fact is, I'm telling you the truth, whether you want to believe it or not. It's the truth. So the liberal Democrats need to realize that Trump is doing the best thing, and he's going to get that wall built. He didn't want to close the government, but yet if there's going to be a lot of naysayers, starting with the politicians in the liberal Democratic Party and not non-supporters, and the ones that don't believe his actions are just, even legal or right or whatnot, guess what? You need to realize that what Trump is doing is best for this country and it's best for the American people. And I thank Heavenly Father that he was put in office. I can tell you, I voted for him, and I will continue voting for him. And the liberal Democrats need to realize, if you want what's best for this country, you don't know exactly how to go about it, obviously, because Hillary Clinton wasn't the right choice. Obama wasn't the right choice. Carter may have seemed like the right choice at one point, maybe, but the only right choice was John Franklin Kennedy. That was it. But he was assassinated, but yet it's not the American people's fault, it's not the Republicans' fault, and it's not anybody else's fault. And get this, things just happen, granted. But the one thing is, also, this country deserves better, and Trump is the positive person, and he's the positive source for this country. The liberals need to realize that, and they need to accept that they lost their footing, and they lost their true vision. Because the true vision is not socialism. The true vision is not sanctuary cities and states. The true vision is not money and power. and it's not control and corruption and deception of where you deceive the American people. Mm-mm. It's not that at all. If the liberal Democrats can't find their footing, they might as well just give in and dismember the liberal Democratic Party, because they're not doing any, they're not helping themselves, and also they're making themselves look worse. And the more they bitch and moan, even with the camp and the gathering of the impeachment um, program or process, or grouping, that's making the liberal Democrats look even worse. Truth, fact, reality. So the liberal Democrats need to quit bitching and moaning and whining and complaining, and realize that the wall would help things become more affordable for many of the American people, even the ones on low income and fixed incomes. The liberal Democrats need to realize that 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 sanctuary cities and states are against the Constitution, so they can't be doing things against the Constitution if they're so for this country, and if they're so for the American people. And they need to realize, the liberal Democrats need to realize also, that the American people are not brain dead idiots. We're not zombies. We're not clueless. We're not misinformed or anything else like that. And we're not incapable of doing things, even for our children, for those who have children, or even for those who are about to have children. If the liberal Democrats want to be a support system, that's fine. But you don't go to the point of saying, "Oh, this is what the American people of who are parents and grandparents and guardians and such need to do," like Michelle Obama tried to do. It's like, I know the right way. The American people of the parental population of the American people don't know. They're clueless. They're brain dead. I'm not saying that, but that's the that's the generalization and the thought process of the liberal Democratic politician Michelle Obama. And as I've said, no parent likes being told how to raise and what to feed and what not to feed their children, and how to bring them up in the right way. But the one thing is, the ones that do the negative crap when it comes to beating, racial bullshit, and various other things that are negative, that uh, that parents have put into the child's minds, that's a different story. But if it's anything positive that lifts up the child emotionally, psychologically, that makes them, where the helps the child become better, as to, even as and builds up from that point, the from one positive point to the next positive point to the next positive point, that's that right there is okay. But the ones that are against various races and instill that into their children, the ones that are generally beating them because they were beat, or they were verbally abused, psychologically and emotionally and mentally. You don't do that. The children of this in this country, the ones that were born into this country, were not born to be mistreated and abused in any way and for any reason. It's sad that and it's sad that their parents and guardians were possibly for any given reason that we understand we and there's ways to take care of that without being medicated. But the one thing is you have to want it truthfully and honestly and be true and honest to yourself first off. Then many positive things can happen. Therefore, you can instill the many positive things into your children. And again, if it sounds like I'm trying to tell you how to raise your children, that's not it. I'm not doing that. But if it sounds like it, I apologize. But I'm not. Basic fact is that we need to get the liberal Democrats to realize that they can give us suggestions of how to do things better for ourselves and children, but not to the points to where the liberal Democrats do the points of full control of how things should be, like Michelle Obama tried to do, even with the Mars Company, among other, and also she also did the same thing with Olive Garden by saying, "Oh, don't let the child order what they want, even if the parents are right there saying it's okay for the child to say what they want to the waiter or waitress." She stupidly told the Mars Company not to make king size Snickers, among others. She stupidly and illogically went over the heads of the Olive Garden and told them not to allow the child to say what they want, even if it's okay, obviously, with the parents. By doing that, Michelle Obama, you are not showing a positive light for anybody and for any reason, not even our future, not even the children's future. You're giving the aspect of bad karma, way beyond bad karma. In fact, also the fact of it is, I know Michelle Obama knows this, and I respect her as a human being and as a woman. But the one thing is, children need to have that feeling and sense of emotion that they're able to decide for themselves. And not too early, but the one thing is that children learn as they do things, even the bad things, even the wrong things. Like for example, if they hated their sister or friend or brother or sister, you know, or their friend, sister, or whatever, then they learn why it's not good to do that. The one thing is that when it comes to dining out, and if they want to choose what's best, what they want to eat, and if the parents are okay with that, there's nothing in any law book or even within the Constitution that prohibits them from doing it. So, Michelle Obama, you may have meant well, but there's meaning well, and there's saying way too many things that are not logical and to the points of control and acting as if the parents in the United States don't know how to parent their own children and raise their own children. So right there, you're wrong there. by doing that, and especially with the Mars Company, and also with the Olive Garden, and also with many several other things. I mean, let's put it this way: when Bill Clinton was in office, Hillary Clinton, and I do, and this is, and I've said this before, but it's the truth though too. Hillary Clinton wanted to do something positive for our younger youth from toddler on up, right? When it came to the public broadcasting stations, when it came to the educational things. But the one thing is that there was a lot of pushback to where she just gave in. I supported her on that aspect, but when she got to the point of wanting to run for president, which I'm not against women running for president or becoming president, but the one thing is, when it comes to um, socialism, tearing out the Constitution, various parts of the Constitution, even to start with, for any given illogical socialist reason, especially, you don't. If you want to back what Obama did, especially when it comes to the Affordable Care Act, which basically is a load of shit. That Affordable Care Act of Obama's, known as Obamacare, was a load of shit. Didn't help one iota. If you're gonna back up socialism and the socialist actions, I will not support that. Nobody in their right mind would support that. Nancy Pelosi, I know you wanted to say your piece, and I know you are a more than a strong, stringent um, liberal politician. But the one thing is, what I've said about the liberal Democrats is 100% truth, in fact, and reality. So Nancy Pelosi needs to either quit bullshitting the American people, and so does Barbara Boxer, and so does every other liberal politician. They need to quit BSing the American people, because people like myself will catch on, and we will tell the American people the truth. And it's the truth. That's the one thing that the liberal Democrats don't want to and they don't want the American people to know. And we've even said in our post that the American people that are told the truth and know the truth, they want the liberals don't like, and even the liberals are fear the truth, because obviously if the American people knew the truth of the liberal Democrats, it wouldn't help them at all. It wouldn't help the liberal Democrats, that is, where the liberal Democrats would lose support. There's something wrong right there. You need to be honest with the American people. The Republicans know that. They've been doing that. They've been telling the American people, the truth. The liberal Democrats have been telling the people the truth through the JFK administration to start with. Even though there might have been some people that were not too agreeable with it, but it helped move things along, didn't it? things become more affordable. But now, and the liberal Democrats think what will help them liberal Democrats, if not the American people, will help the liberal Democrats. They think that by allowing illegals coming into this country, which would basically, like I said, gradually, if not extensively, more than extensively, bankrupt this country, it would help their party, because the illegals would know that it's okay with the liberal Democrats to come into this country illegally, even though it's not agreeable and okay to and for the American people that are legal, that are more than 100% legal in this country. So basically, the liberal Democrats don't give a damn. They only want what's best for the liberal Democrats. They don't want what's best for the American people. They don't want what's best for the American people's youth, for this country's youth, essentially. They don't want what's best for this country. They want what's best for them and their party and their objective. Not not a positive light for the liberal Democrats, and it will never be a positive light for the liberal Democrats. None of the things that I've said that about the liberal Democrats are positive light, because going against the Constitution when it comes to sanctuary cities and states and such like that, right? And trying to tear out the Constitution to the point where it's non-existent is not a positive light either. Wanting full power and control over the country and the American people, to where our rights and freedoms and whatnot else are taken away, and telling us parents what we can and cannot do and what we should and should not do when it comes to raising and bringing up our own children. Wrong. Big time. Big time wrong move. Big time wrong action. No politician of any party is allowed to do that. Reagan knew that. Nancy knew that. Barbara Bush knew that. And also the Bush Jr.'s wife knew that. Bush Jr. knew that. Bush Sr. knew that. Trump knows that. The First Lady of Donald J. Trump knows that. But the liberal Democrats think they can do that and get away with it. Like many parents think that it's okay to mistreat your child, if any of them are out there, and you'll get away with it. And like if the child is just born, deal with it and take it. No child was born in this country to deal and take with any negative verbal and physical actions put upon and against them. No child was even asked to be born. It's not like they had, when a child was coming over to you in your teens or 20s or even before. Make sure I'm born on this date. Children are just brought into this world essentially. No child has been ever asked to come into this world and then eventually at some point get mistreated. And no politician is allowed to say what's best for the American people's child or children, because no politician, especially the liberals, mostly the liberals at this point, are allowed to do that. Michelle Obama knew that, but yet she did it anyway, didn't she? So, and Nancy Pelosi, Barbara Boxer, Dianne Feinstein, if you and your other politician idiots on the Liberal Democratic Party, including Gavin Newsom, in which I believe he was at one point a Republican when he was the governor, or the I don't know when he was the mayor of San Francisco, Cisco essentially. I thought he was a Republican or at least moderate. The one thing is, no liberal politician is allowed to go against the Constitution. No liberal politician is allowed to turn things turn things to where only favors them. Because basically, all you're doing is making yourself look worse. So therefore, the liberal Democrats need to be disbanded if they're going to keep on doing the negative crap and acting like they're and try to word as if they're doing something positive, and if they're going to keep on going against what's best for this country and the American people. And yes, the wall is best for this country and the American people, and it will help this country to where things will become gradually more affordable. Because the more illegals come into this country illegally, the more things will be, the higher things will become in cost, and affordability will be completely non-existent. So, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Barbara Boxer, Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Jerry Brown, you need to realize what I say to be true. And if you can't accept it, you're going to have to, because nobody wants socialism where it's like every one of the American people would be like mindless zombies, and to where our rights and freedoms are taken away. And you cannot say that that's the base of socialism, because that's exactly what you want. I know that the American people don't want it, but I know the liberal Democrats want that, and I am not gonna stand for that crap. I'm 100% behind Donald J. Trump, and I will always be. Those who do best for this country and what's right for this country, even the economical employment and various other things, even when it comes to our children's future and our future and this country's future to be in a positive light, I'm all for. But the liberal Democrats have lost their footing. And once the liberal Democratic voters and followers and supporters realize that, they'll back away. And hopefully it'll happen sooner than later. Even way sooner than much later. If you'd like to get to know more about what I know, including when it comes to this particular subject, and do note the impeachment uh, gathering, or you know thing that I saw on TV yesterday morning. That's not going to last, because it's going to be showing that the liberal Democrats are more than desperate, more than unprofessional, more than childlike, and inconsiderate, and they don't, and will show that they don't really give a damn what's best for the country, because the liberal Democrats think they know what's best for this country, and it's not socialism. But the liberal Democrats don't want us to know that they believe socialism and where they have full control and power is best for this country, and it's not. And the liberal Democrats want you to believe that going against the Constitution, when it comes to even when it comes to turning things into sanctuary cities and states, is best for this country, when it's not. The liberal Democrats have pocketed more money than they've allowed to go through that would benefit the American people. Case in point, Jerry Brown. when one particular part, when I think it was one particular dam or levee or whatever it was that needed repair, he put in for a state of emergency when Jerry Brown was governor of California, and he pocketed more than that was put forth for the repair process. It didn't do any better. It didn't completely repair the the damaged area. But did he do the liberal Democrats and he care? No. And he literally drained the state of California of money within its finances and budget for the speed train. Even though the cost of it was climbing, he kept on putting forth hundreds of millions of billions of dollars. Did that matter to him? That he was nearly bankrupting the state of California? No. Anything that the liberal Democrats do, even when it comes to the states and counties and cities' finances and budget, if it drains it to the points to where things become more expensive in order to bring back what was taken out, the Democrats are the wrong choice. We even have a Democrat inside New York City. One thing, there was one particular thing I mentioned was that was said when it came to the obesity and also the health aspect in our C.R.P.H.A Health Watch video, and it's true, is that raising the prices of sports drinks and soft drinks and many other things that come to the aspect of snack variations, especially. He wanted to raise the prices of the sodas, sir, and sports drinks. Bad move. See, that's another aspect of the liberal Democrats thinking that they know what's best for our children and us parents. We don't. That's the liberal thought. That's the liberal way of thinking. Like we parents are incapable to know what's right and what's best and how much they should and should not have. But there's one thing that I will say that he did right, that the liberal governor and mayor of New York has done by banning cigarettes. They should ban the sale of cigars. They should ban the sale of these these pot things, these pot stations or whatever, or stores, whatever you want to call them too, as well. Because it's not, and if they want to do the medical aspects, if you want to do what's known as medical marijuana, there's a lot more sufficient ways to do it. And no, that does not mean by putting various little stands or stations or stores all across the country like that. You can do it in such a way to where the medical board can easily make it toward the FDIC. No, I mean the FDA actually. Not yeah, the FDA. Sorry, not the FDIC. is a bank part. Anyways, the FDA would also approve if they really care about the American people, um, to where the medical marijuana aspect is put in pill form, if not liquid form. That way, there won't be any break-ins of in various little shops of even the medical marijuana things. Granted, aside from the fact that many distributors of their marijuana shops have gone against the state regulations, including with the ones of starting with a number of them in California. See, that right there shows that we are not ready. Therefore the marijuana, legalizing marijuana, should not have been established. Should not have been put through. So generally, the medical marijuana part of it can easily go into the points of pill form or liquid, and it would only be by prescription. Because if we put them in companies that like Excedrin, Tylenol, uh, various others, right, or even Advil aspect of companies, right, it's gonna make it a worse situation to where things would be completely locked up. Even the ones that even the over the counter prescriptions that we that they put out in shelving, um, that would be locked up as well. So generally, to make things better, put the marijuana back onto the illegal aspects, the way the federal government has viewed it already, still as illegal, um, and the medical marijuana, put them in pill form and by prescription only, even in liquid form. If there's a particular substance inside the marijuana that does the inside the medical marijuana that does help the human body, I'm all for it. But if there isn't, then scientists need to find something else way better than that. And also, I'm totally against the scam commercials that says this is an urgent message from the of the international of Christians and Jews. That thing is so phony, and it is such a damn scam. It's not funny. So is the lawyer scamming commercial about PG&E and the fire that happened not so long ago in California. Yes, it may be PG&E's fault for not keeping things up to date and well monitor better monitored, essentially, among other things. But there's no reason to make up a scam lawyer commercial, and also these other scam commercials, especially the international message for Christians and Jews. That right there is a major scam. And also, and also the impeachment process of of what the liberal Democrats obviously support, um, needs to be put away because there's nothing wrong with Donald Trump. There's nothing wrong of what he's doing. The liberal Democrats need to realize what Donald Trump is doing is best for this country and best for the American people and our youth. And I'm going to keep on saying that. And if the liberal Democrats don't like it, tough fucking shit. I'm an American person. I was born in this country. I can say it as many times as I fucking want. And because it's the truth and reality and fact. And also, Gavin Newsom hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't even promised anything that would help people with low-income situations, including when it comes to the apartment situations, the low-income, more than affordable apartments in the living situation. Especially, he hasn't done anything quite yet, and probably won't be. He probably will shy away from even doing. Even more than shy away from, even bringing more jobs in here that consists of retail and many other things outside the factory aspects of things. Gavin Newsom, I used to respect. Seeing that he's been with Jerry Brown, he's seen that he was the lieutenant governor of Jerry Brown, he's lost my respect. And I'm sure he's lost a number of people's other respect as well. But the basic fact is, Gavin Newsom needs to realize that just like Jerry Brown, I'll be keeping a close eye on what Gavin Newsom does and tries to hide. Gavin Newsom thinks he's smarter than Jerry Brown, even though Jerry Brown became gradually senile. The one thing is, I'm a lot smarter than Gavin Newsom. Hell, I'm even smarter than Jerry Brown. I'm a lot smarter than Obama. I'm a lot smarter than Hillary and Bill Clinton. I'm a lot smarter than Jimmy Carter. Even though I do support Jimmy Carter in the sense of the Habitat for Humanity project that he supports and has backed. Even when they did a segment on home improvement with him on that aspect, right? I support that. But I'm still smart. I'm not going to say I'm Einstein or anything like that, but the basic fact is that I know what is right and what is wrong. And I know the positive and logical and not logical and illogical and the non-realistic versus realistic actions and have been. So the one thing is, Gavin Newsom, I'm watching. I'm watching you. You need to eat and get more affordable apartment, low-income housing in this state, in the state of California. More jobs in the state of California by taking down the high tax plan for one, because that's what's scaring away businesses. Take down the sanctuary state and city thing as well. Gavin Newsom. And if you refuse, I will easily make it to where you will have no other choice but to do as I suggested, because it's better for the state of California, and it's better for the citizens of California and our youth. And we can reinitialize and reestablish Prop 39 for the California schools and our youth's education, the way that Jerry Brown put it through in the beginning, but yet he went behind closed doors. Jerry Brown went behind closed doors and changed it by going through a legislative loophole and changed it to his high tax plan. Even the Sacramento Bee said that he did that very thing. You want to know if I voted for it, Gavin Newsom? Hell no! Because I knew exactly what Jerry Brown was up to. before he even did it. I'm not a mind reader, but I know various things that people are unaware of, even nowadays. My father was a Marine, therefore I'm his son. Therefore, it's known as a Marine's son. I am a Marine's son. Therefore, I am advocating, a humanitarian advocate, and I am also under the aspect of health watch advocate, disability advocate, and business advocate. So basically, I know what's best for this country and what's best for the American people, and I'm not gonna. And I know many people have their own different views, but the one thing is, I support their views, even though I may not agree with a whole lot of them, if any, or any percentage of, them, or any number of them, whatever they may be, depending. Yeah, but I still support it because everybody has a right to say the voice what they feel and say and know to be right within themselves. But the one thing is that I know what I can tell you. I know what to be right. But the one thing is that in order for things to happen positive, not just for the one person, but for many hundreds of billions of people, it has to be more than a combined effort. But the one thing that will fail is the sanctuary city and state. The high tax plan will fail. It has failed. Um, Actually, both of those have failed actually, and also the impeachment thing that is a commercial of will fail because it's not logical and it's not realistic. It's just a form of desperation put through the Democrats. They won't tell you that, but it's the truth. If you want to know more, please let me know on the bottom. And if you do like what I say, you can voice that as well if you'd like. There's C.R.P.H.A. I'm the head of C.R.P.H.A., which is Conservative Republican People's Humanitarian Advocate. And I want everybody to stay safe and I would like our youth to stay in school and know that education is the most important thing. And staying at and also following the law is also is equally important. Have a good day, and may Heavenly Father bless you all.